You know, the modified lob shot is a great shot. It's a shot I use all the time around the greens, but it doesn't work for every single situation. Here's one where the modified lob shot still isn't going to have enough stopping power. So I hit that pretty well, but it's still running on like crazy. That's about as good as I can do with the modified lob shot. So now it's time to address that super high lob shot. It's a high risk shot and one you're going to have to practice. But let's talk about the elements for the extra high lob. I'm switching clubs here to go from my 56 to the 60 degree. You know, it used to be when I was growing up, all wedges were 56 degrees. There was no such thing as a 60, so we laid that blade wide open. Well, you're going to be laying the blade open on this one too, and that's going to help me get that ball up into the air. Now, there are some factors here that are the same as the modified lob shot. They're just exaggerated. So what we're going to do is we're going to take each element and really factor it up by a factor of 2 or 3 in terms of the exaggeration. So in the modified lob shot, the first element here is to have the handle not quite so far forward. The handle is not straight up and down. It's actually even a little bit behind. You can see here as I set the handle is actually a little back of where the ball is. That's going to serve to put more loft on the club, which is going to help me to shoot the ball more up into the air. The second factor is to lay the blade open a little bit more. It's pointing more to the right. That also is going to add some more loft. So what I do is I take the handle back, the face is more open, and of course that club face more to the right is going to make the ball go more to the right. So what do I have to do? Of course, aim myself more to the left to compensate. So I go ahead and take into account these factors: club face more open, handle more back, aiming more left to compensate. So now all of a sudden I've set up to get that ball even more up into the air. Now as I back this handle up, something interesting happens, and that is as I back the handle up, it's also going down, down, down toward the ground. That's really increasing that loft an extra amount. So I want to get a little sense that I'm getting closer to the ground, that my tailbone is a little bit lower. You've also noticed a pretty wide stance here, because the wider I stand, the more I can get down. So those elements have now added a lot of loft to the club, which is going to help me to slide underneath it. Now, you guessed it, I do need some grass underneath the ball here. So you'll see when a player gets ready to hit this shot, they'll usually sole the club for just a moment to try to see if there's grass underneath it. If there is, then they can go ahead and play this shot. So it's going to be club face to the right with the handle back down, and I'm just going to stand comfortably to the handle. So if the handle's over here, of course I would stand this way. The handle's over here, I'm now more over on this side of the ball. That handle is lower to the ground, and very important, I must grip it however that club is sitting. A lot of people will turn the face open without changing their grip. And of course the shot comes in and they'll go ahead and square it back up again, and it comes out low after all. So you want to grasp the club so that that's how it's going to hit. It's going to hit with the club face open, and that's how you want to grip it. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the shot here. Club face to the right, I've got myself to the left, gripping it what feels like sideways. And again, as I hit it, I want to make sure it's hitting in exactly that position. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now you notice there I had to make a really sizable swing just to get it to go a very short distance. And this is one thing that you'll really have to practice. Many people, when they're learning this shot, they'll lay the blade open, they'll get ready to hit it, they'll make their good swing and go underneath it, and they'll say, oh, terrible shot. Well, I actually hit that one perfectly. I didn't swing big enough. So you need a big swing, even though you're right next to the green on a shot like this, because that glancing blow of having the club face so open takes away all your power. So you need to really swing big at it. You'll see that shot on TV sometimes where the player will swing almost full even though they're right next to the green. And that's because the power is getting dissipated by having the club face open so much. So don't have a worry about it. Go ahead and swing big. You're going to need to get it to the green. So this is a very short shot here, but I'm swinging nearly full just to hit it a few yards. So the shot's a little bit scary, but it does take some work, and once you get the hang of it, you can go ahead and swing away. Now, one other element that's really important, and I did mention this on the modified lob shot, is I'm not trying to get that ball in the air with my swing whatsoever. I'm going to go ahead and let the loft of the club pop the ball up into the air. The other thing that's important is that the stance, which now has me aiming a little more to the left with my body, now makes the whole swing go more to left field. But that's the only part I'm going to do in terms of making the club come across the ball. Some people think that you need to cut across it extra when you're playing a lob shot like this. You don't. You're swinging more left because of your stance, not because of the shape of your swing. So that super high lob shot, it's a little tricky. It's going to take some practice, but once you get the hang of it, it's really a handy one.